Echoes from Rushmore. This morning, when I heard portions of Donald Trump's speech on NPR at Mt Rushmore on July 3, 2020, his words lodged in my body like an unwelcome visitor, in a way that felt like I had done something wrong, or there was something wrong with me, which was confusing. I observed the energy in my body throughout breakfast. It appeared to reside in my upper torso. After breakfast, I sat in meditation. I allowed the feeling to be and gave it space. It possessed an emotional as well as a physical quality. After I finished meditating, upon reflection, it reminded me of a familiar feeling associated with my father, a visceral feeling of being told I wasn't good enough, that I didn't quite measure up. The feeling was echoing down from the halls of my childhood. Patriarchy. I identify as left of center. Somehow Trump's words found their way into my being, at first like an unwelcome intruder. As I sat with the feelings and they settled, what was left was memories of fear, not mine so much as the fear of a system, a structure Donald Trump is merely a reflection of. Just as my father's words and beliefs were the law in my young life, violence and anger appeared to me to be his tools of compliance. The difference between Trump and my father is, my father in his later years mellowed, maturing into a wise and kind man. In listening to the energy and intention of Trump's words, there is a menacing threat of violence, a glorification of division, not for the good of the country, our country, but for the good of a political agenda of greed, lies, and corruption, trying to dress itself in the bloody rags of patriotism and love of country. Merely hollow words that don't ring true. Trump in his errant rantings is providing a service to this country, our country, in exposing to all those brave enough to look deeply the skeleton of a system rigged to benefit the wealthy and white. This system has always used anger and violence in retaliation to change and will up the ante to whatever it takes to remain in power. It is a self-replicating system. So on this July 4th, I am openly declaring my independence from Trump's version of this country and focusing my heart and intention to creating a country I want to live in, where people can discuss their values and beliefs openly with each other and join together to make this a country where there truly is equality and justice for all. You know, after I wrote this, I decided I needed to watch the president's speech rather than the soundbite I had heard this morning. I made it about halfway through. I saw enough to observe what an emotionally crippled man he is. I was watching a desperate man trying to tear this country apart for his own purposes. I just thank God he doesn't have the intellect or charisma Hitler did, for then he would truly be a dangerous man. He just appeared to me to be a very little man with a very big mouth. The deadness of his gaze and lack of emotion are what truly scare me.